I'm Whitney.
I'm Mindy.
And I'm Deb.
We're three best friends who love nerdy things.
Well, some people think we're nerdy, but we think we're pretty awesome.
This is our nerdiest thing.
Hello, fellow nerds, and welcome to our nerdiest thing. Today, we're going to be sharing our Pride Month recommendations. And that's what we're going to do.
Yay!
I trusted myself to think of something else to say, and I shouldn't have.
And in nerdy news.
And now, Deb, will you please share our nerdy news?
Yes, today we have a much anticipated sequel coming out. We have Harvest Season by Brynne Weaver, which is a sequel to Taurus Season. I'm very, very excited about that book. Can't wait. On the fantasy side of things, we actually have a re-release into traditional publishing, and this is Wielder by Rachel Schneider. This is the sequel to Metal Slinger, and that's all you're getting on those two books because they're sequels. Sorry. For next week, I actually only have one book I wanted to talk about, and this is a new book by Lynnette Noni. Lynnette wrote the Prison Healer series I raved about a couple of years ago. She's a YA author, but her new book is called Shadow Reaper, and it follows a Reaper hunter who must partner with her enemy to stop a world-ending conspiracy while being threatened by a deadly black mist and other soul-stealing Reapers.
Yikes.
Oh.
Yeah, her magic systems are really fun and easy to follow, and she has some good cliffhangers. So I'm really, really excited about this book. I can't wait.
Nice.
Yeah. And that's it for the nerdy news.
Thank you so much. Well, let's go into the nerdy and dirty with what we are reading. And I can start us off with this one. I read the Mountain Men Matchmaker series by Amy Dawes, not to be confused with the Mountain Men series by S.J. Tilly. They are similar yet
Do they both
different.
use the same silver fox on their covers? Because that would be even more confusing.
No.
Oh, okay.
The
Okay.
Mountain Men Matchmaker series are more like cartoony covers.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And they've got a lot more humor than the S.J. Tilly books, but these are by Amy Dawes. I really enjoyed the series more than I thought that I was going to. I kept seeing the first book, the 9-month contract, on social media and on.
Is that about pregnancy?
It is. And I kept thinking, I'm not going to read that. I'm not going to read that. And then I was like, well, all right.
I'm like, is it about pregnancy?
I'll read it. And I really enjoyed it a lot. So these it's 3 books. They follow 3 brothers who have a weirdly close relationship with each other, not in a creepy way, but just they're really close. And they've all chosen to live in separate cabins on a mountain together, and they all promise that they're going to stay single forever and literally just bro out.
Okay, I'm sorry, that is weird.
It is weird. And then one at a time, they each get set up with their one true love by their niece, who is the main character of a book you mentioned in Nerdy News last time, The Bad Boy Era by Amy Dawes.
Okay.
The niece is an adult at this point.
Is she a matchmaker, or is she just
No,
I know who you're going to fall in love with?
She's just I know my uncles and I know what would make them happy, and I'm going to figure out how to make it happen for you. But she's 12.
I don't think I would go on a date with anyone who bought cabins with his brothers on the side of a mountain and said they were going to bro out forever.
Well,
I would have been like, that's a super red
Even
flag.
if he had a really big dick.
Well, I would never know because as soon as you told me that about him, I would be like, no.
well, I really enjoyed them more than I thought I was going to, because it does sound I don't know about that, but they're really fun. They're very funny. There's lots of really good humor, good spice, and it works for me. I liked it a lot.
No, I would probably
recommend.
really like it. I'm saying in real life, there's a lot of shit that happens
in real life
books that I would be like, don't talk to me like that, you bitch.
We're not talking about real life.
Side note, if you ever get the opportunity to see Amy Dawes in person, she's hysterical. If those books are funny, she's probably even funnier. In real life, she tells crazy stories and is just really super extroverted, but fun and funny.
Yay.
Yeah.
Good. I like it when the author matches the
vibe of the books.
Yeah, the vibe of the books.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, what are you reading, Mindy?
I have been reading too many mystery thrillers and too many heavy things. So I am now continuing. I went back to the Heated Rivalry series. So I read.
I really enjoyed whatever that was.
I just finished Tough Guy, and I'm starting Common Goal. I really enjoyed Tough Guy. That's the one I think people most say is like their least favorite, or or they can skip or whatever. I really enjoyed it.
Is that the third one or the fourth one?
It's the third one. It's the one.
I didn't like it very much.
Really? I think it's sweet, and I think the anxiety rep in it is interesting and different, something I hadn't read before.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel the chemistry very much, and
I can see that.
Yeah. And for her other books, the chemistry is very, very good. And so I was just like, what's happening? But speaking of her, I'm reading The Long Game. So, which means we're back to Ilya and Shane, which, the chemistry's chemistry.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Nice. So, and then we've got to wait a year for Unrivaled.
Yeah.
But they should be starting filming anytime for season 2.
I think so.
Yeah, which is very, very exciting. Jacob, do your work. Jacob Tierney, make it happen. Cowboy Shane, we'll be happy to see you.
Deb, will you keep us going with what you're watching?
Of course. So I watched something called The Watchers. This is a movie from a couple of years ago with Dakota Fanning that my husband said I should watch. You all haven't watched this, right?
No.
It was pinged as horror, so I highly doubt Whitney would watch it. But it's about this girl who has to travel on the Irish countryside or something. I think it's Ireland. And her car breaks down and she goes into the woods, and there's this glass house thing, and you find out that there's other survivors in this glass house, and they cannot leave after dark because something comes to the house and watches them.
Ew.
Okay. And at first you're like, what is it? Is it a person? Is it spirits? Is it forest? What is it? And ultimately, this is very spoilery because I don't think either of you will ever watch this movie. Ultimately, what it is fae. And they were once partnered with people on this island. And of course, the people then were shitty to them, and they buried them alive on this island, and they're still alive down there. And they start getting out, and they're essentially mimicking people that they kill off to try to get back into the real world.
Oh,
it was a really
wild.
Cool concept, but as a nerd, I had so many problems with it.
Yeah.
Whereas my husband loved it because he's not a fantasy nerd.
Right.
I was like, no, plot hole. And so I think that's why it didn't do well, because no one that's not a nerd is going to watch that movie, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It did have a cool ending and a little twist that I liked, but it just wasn't there all the way, but it was creepy, and it did keep me engaged the whole time.
The premise sounds super creepy.
Yeah, if you need just something to watch, the fae thing is kind of a big spoiler because you don't know what's watching them,
right?
But they like to watch them do menial tasks like watch TV or crochet or
so
sleep.
They can mimic them.
But they will beat on the glass and stuff of the house if they aren't performing for them.
That's weird.
Yeah,
that would give me nightmares.
Yeah, it was
I
weird.
don't like it.
That's pretty creepy.
Yeah, but the lore needed to be better sparsed out. Yeah.
Mindy, what are you watching? Something less creepy, perhaps?
Much so. I'm watching the new season of The Rookie. It's on season 8. So I had binged the first 7 seasons because my daughter told me to. And so now we're watching season 8.
You've gone through
together.
that quick.
It was a while. Yeah, it did. Well, I was going to say it took, I think it was right after or when I had my surgery, though. Or maybe it was the summer. I don't know. Anyway, I know I had a lot of time on my hands. It wasn't while I was working or anything. So we've been watching that together. And since I'd binged the first 7 and I could just watch them back to back, now I have to watch them as they come out. And it's killing me.
Yeah, old school TV.
I know.
What's this?
I know. When you try to explain that to your kids, I was like, we used to have to wait 3 months over the summer. And there was no rewatching it. If you didn't catch it on TV, you didn't watch it.
You missed out.
Back in my day.
Maybe you could catch a rerun if you got lucky.
If you were lucky, yeah.
That's how I got into Supernatural, was reruns.
Reruns.
Oh, that's cool.
I watched a documentary on Netflix that's kind of creepy, but it's more just sad and weird. So it's called A Deadly American Marriage. And you have a widowed single father who meets someone and falls in love. He's from Ireland. She's American, and they're nanny. And then when they fall in love, he and his 2 kids move to America with her Okay. So eventually he dies, and the documentary is investigating what exactly happened. So the fact seems to be that either the new wife or her dad definitely killed the husband.
And this is a documentary?
This is a documentary, yeah. But the question is, what happened and why did they do it? So she says that he was abusive and that this was self-defense, or maybe dad defending daughter, and he obviously was not able to argue against that, but his family is like, there's absolutely no way that that's accurate. And so there's a lot of very questionable things from his past and also from her, and it was a mess. It was a mess. And he has these two kids that lost their mom. I'm pretty sure that she had cancer or something like that. And then they lost their dad. And then they also lost this new like mother figure, this stepmom who was their nanny that they loved before she became their stepmom. And they've just been through a lot, and it's too much.
That is messed
What
up.
network is it on?
Netflix.
Okay.
So one thing that really bothered me is the way that the new mom, the stepmom, was talking about these kids. She was trying to convey like the love that she has for these children and how she sees them truly as her children as opposed to like her husband's children, you know, but she talked as if she were literally their biological mom and that their actual biological mom didn't exist. And it really bothered me a lot because I'm like, this is a woman who got sick and died.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like these kids lost their mom in a really tragic way. And I did not like the way she talked.
Yeah.
So what murder are they investigating?
The husband, the Irish husband, he was killed by the new wife / her dad. But the question is like, why? Is it like, did she plot to try to take his money or something, or was he actually abusive? Like, what's going on?
Right.
It was really, really strange and really sad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was really weird.
I'd rather watch my creepy movies.
Yeah.
That shit doesn't happen in real life.
Well, that's right. Maybe people knocking on your windows.
Or,
Yeah,
I mean,
but-
maybe there are fae mimics. I hope
Maybe.
not.
You never know.
Maybe I'm one.
I think we're stupid to think that we know. I think it would be shallow of us to think that there are not other creatures with decision-making powers. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
It's basically like the idea of aliens.
yeah, or
Like,
cryptids, or
Fae and aliens are
And
essentially
I'm not
the
saying
same
they're,
idea.
yeah, it kind of is, but I'm not saying like they're monsters or anything. I just think it's silly for us to be like, yeah, there's nothing but humans
But
out
us.
there. I mean, we know
Yeah.
there are things we've never even seen on the bottom of the ocean floor.
I mean, it's arrogant of us too. Like,
Yeah.
we're the smartest beings around.
right.
Well, I am.
I think some
Clearly.
people right now have proven that we are not.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're proving it every single day.
Every day.
Well, I can move us into what we're listening to. You've heard me talk about this book many, many times. And here I am once again telling you to read or listen to The Lies That Summon the Night by Tasanya Odette.
Oh, you did a
was
reread?
a listen. Yeah, I had a credit and thought, yes, I want to listen to this. It was a 5-star read when I read it on my Kindle. It's a 5-star listen to the audiobook. It is just such a good book. I cannot recommend it enough. It's a fantasy, shades, sinners, sinless.
Yeah, it'll be one of my top reads of the year for
It's
sure.
Yeah.
so good.
I gave it.
And
so
I know
good.
our
it's a 5-star read for me.
Yeah.
Too.
And that's rare that all three of us
Yeah.
give a
Yeah.
5-star
Yeah.
read to something.
It's great.
And I will say our Patreon members really loved it. Someone said that they have never been able to get into a romantasy before,
Oh,
and that this was the
yay.
first one that ever held their attention.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
I love that.
so, yeah. And I mean, I would call it more paranormal than romantasy, maybe.
Yeah.
But
Ish.
because it has vampires in
Yeah.
it, but there's definitely some romantasy vibes like Shadow Daddy and things like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was very original.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. Everybody add it to your list if you haven't already.
Yeah. It's very, very good.
What about you guys? What are y'all listening to?
I'm listening to something very different. And this is another reason why I needed to read something lighter, because I'm listening to a book called Know My Name by Chantel Miller. So this is the memoir of the victim from the Brock Turner sexual assault case that happened in 2015.
Oh, wow.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it's very, very heavy, guys. And
Yeah.
Never listen to stuff like that.
I know. Okay, this is weird how I came about this. So she writes children's books now. And she wrote a children's book that we got in our library, and I loved it. I was like, oh, that's so cool. And then the librarian said, she wrote, this is who this is. And she wrote this memoir. And so she was the one that suggested it to me, and it was on a 2-for-1 Audible.
Sure,
and so I was like, I'll try it. First of all, she talks very slow. So I'm on 1.5, and it's still like very, very easy to listen to. So just heads up on that. But it's a very, very heavy listen. But I think it's an important one. It makes sure that the public knows that even though because she went by Emily Doe through this whole trial, like nobody knew who she was, but she is a real person with a real name, and her story is horrific.
Yeah.
The focus should be on her and not the star swimmer at Stanford that thinks he's above the law. And he did end up if you don't know the story, he did end up getting convicted of the case, and he could have had up to 14 years in prison, and the judge gave him 6 months, and he got out in 3.
You wouldn't want to ruin a poor guy's life.
That's exactly what the judge said.
Yeah. I wish there had been a lot more focus, and I mean, I know there was a lot of uproar, but I wish there had been more about the judge, right?
Yeah.
Well, also, why aren't we talking about how that girl's life is ruined?
Right.
She's never going to get over that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But she honestly, I ended up watching some other, like, going down like a YouTube rabbit hole and watching some things, and she's come out strong on the other side of it, but like nobody wants to go through that. And just hearing her side of the things and the stuff that she didn't remember, and how everybody, like, they made the victim seem like a perpetrator, like like it was her fault. And it's just crazy how much I didn't realize how awful that whole process is.
Right.
To go through the legal process.
Well, and people are like, why don't victims come forward?
Right,
This
exactly.
is why. Nothing happens.
Exactly.
The victims ostracized. Like, they always try to discredit.
Villainized.
Well,
it's always like, well, if you were dressing more modest, or if you weren't drinking,
I can wear whatever I want. You can keep your dick in your pants.
Exactly. Like, no one says, well, he should have just, kept his dick in his pants. Like,
I mean, you literally, it is a choice to rape someone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a have to.
Yeah.
It is a choice.
There's a lot of steps too.
Yep.
To like actually make that a choice that is an action.
Well, and
you know what I mean?
If you're in the middle of it and you see people come by and like come after you, and you start running, you've done something wrong.
Right. Why are you running if you
Yeah.
didn't do something that you should have been doing?
Yeah.
Gross.
That is
It was
heavy.
super heavy.
I'm going to lighten it up a little bit.
Good.
I listened to So Supernatural, the podcast, and you're going to laugh when I say this, but this episode was about the Naga fireballs. Get it out of your system.
Naga fireballs.
Okay, so
Fireballs.
locals believe that they're literally fireballs, are created by Naga on the Mekong River, which separates Thailand and Laos. So on the full moon night of the 11th lunar month, no matter when it falls, on what day of the year, or what, or what week it falls in the year, these fireballs start coming out of this river. And it just so happens to coincide with like a final holy day in that culture. And so they believe that the fireballs are created by Naga, which is a mythical spirit, and that means blessings. And so on years that like tourism's really good, they actually have more fireballs than they do on years that like
where they're having a hard time.
Yeah. And so scientists have, of course, tried to discredit this.
Sure.
And some suggest like natural methane's causing the fireballs. Some people think that they're human made, like tracer rounds from across the river, but like no one ever hears like explosions happening on the other side of the river. No one's ever seen anyone over there like setting anything off.
Right.
It is very much a huge mystery. And I'm like,
weird.
it
That is
became
odd.
a bucket list item for me. I would love to go and see these.
Yeah.
Like, that would be so cool. Yeah, to see fire like rising out of a river,
that's
and to
really
see the people that feel like blessed by this spirit that's like showing them that like, hey, everything's okay. You know what I mean? And so it was a really cool episode.
I love that they take that as a blessing and not a scary thing that's happening,
Right,
Because I feel like that would be my...
Yeah, we'd be like, there's fire coming out of the river.
End of the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Fun fact, things go better for me when I drink more Fireball too.
We've had some fun times on Fireball. I've also thrown up Fireball, and it
I was
hurts.
just thinking that same thing.
It hurts. Yeah, cinnamon going down is also cinnamon coming up.
Well, that brings us to our nerdiest topic. And since it is Pride Month, the month of June, we're going to share our Pride Month recommendations. Before we get into the specific recommendations, let's talk a little bit about why or how what we read supports the LGBTQ plus community. Who wants to go first?
I can go. I think the most important thing is that queer stories deserve to be told. And, you know, queer literature is no stranger to book banning, which needs to stop. And being queer in a book, just as a reminder to bookstagrammers, being queer in a book is not a trope, and it does not need a trigger warning, you assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is, you don't need a trigger warning for a queer character.
Does somebody do that?
Yeah, it's happened
sure
a lot
they
lately,
do.
unfortunately.
Oh my God,
Yeah, I think it's really important for queer people to see themselves represented in books and film. You know, we need to validate their experience and provide safe spaces for people in the LGBTQ plus community. Thank you. I was going to say culture, but that's wrong. And I think it helps allies and people that aren't queer recognize a wide range of experiences, right? And it really gives us different perspectives and diverse perspectives as readers. So that's why I think go read queer literature.
That's one of the things
LGBTQ plus, not just queer.
Reading, part of the point for me personally of reading generally is to read experiences that are different from my own personal experience. Right. To just have knowledge and different perspectives so that you can try to have empathy with other people, right? Like not necessarily empathy because it's a struggle for somebody, although that is often the case, but just to be able to relate to other people that are different than you know?
Yeah. If you're not reading different perspectives, how are you going to understand anyone?
Right.
Yeah.
And the other part of it too, thinking of publishing and books as a business, you know, the more you read certain types of stories, the more those types of stories will get written because there's an audience for those types of stories, right? And that's true whether you're talking about queer stories or, I don't know,
and then
cowboy romances or whatever. Like whatever, the paranormal romance sphere kind of exploded after Ruby Dixon's book got really popular online, right? And all of a sudden you see all these same types of stories coming out because there's a huge audience for it. And it's the same thing with queer stories too.
If more people are reading queer stories, then the publishers are going to pick up more.
Exactly. They see, there's an audience for this. There's money to be made here. People will read these books. So let's provide these books. Yeah. It's like a cycle.
I would say some of my favorite authors are queer authors, right? And they, really do just have a different point of view. So if you're pigeonholing yourself and not reading them because they're gay or trans or anything, you're really limiting your spectrum of what you can and should read too. And you're missing out on some really good books.
Yeah, because I know like people, it's not that people who, there are people out there that do not read queer stories, but are allies.
Right.
Like they're just, I think it's easy to say, well, I'm not going to relate to that or whatever. But like, think about all the queer people who have been having to read straight stories all the time.
Stories, yeah.
I don't have much to add. Definitely the queer community needs to see themselves in these stories. And that goes for any marginalized group. I think representation is so important, but also help educate cis people and foster empathy for everybody. I think empathy is something that we should constantly be practicing. It doesn't necessarily come naturally to everybody, and I think it's something that if you're not instantly empathetic to something, it's worth practicing. And I think reading books is a very safe way to engage in that. I think it helps reduce stereotyping because we better understand who they are and what they go through. Because it's easy to be like, oh well, all of them, to pigeonhole these groups, but there's so many layers. Just like anybody, any person's going to have lots of layers, no matter what. So I think that's important that we don't stereotype, and then going back to book banning, which is still happening, these books honestly need to be preserved as a representation of the cultural history.
Yeah, that's true.
It might not be something that people are going to teach in schools.
Right.
You never know. And so having that and having somebody who's read it, who can, pass them on if they're not, written down anymore, right. I think is super important. I read this really cool quote. I read somewhere that queer literature is a mirror for queer readers and a window for cisgender people. And I just really like that metaphor.
I love that.
Yeah, I really like that metaphor.
That's a really great quote.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good one. Well done, Mindy.
Well,
congratulations.
Yeah. Well, let's get started then with some recommendations. Mindy, do you want to get us started?
Absolutely. So my first recommendation is Maisie Eddings. This is, and not all of these, I'm trying to think, I don't know that all of these authors are necessarily queer, but they write queer characters. So, but I think maybe they all are now that I'm looking at it. So Maisie Eddings is openly bisexual, and she writes both queer and hetero relationships. Her sapphic novel, Late Bloomer, about two women who are battling over ownership of a flower farm and discovering themselves in the process, is just such a beautiful story. I think this is the one that sort of got her name out there.
Yeah.
But she writes fantastic books. I love her, and she's just an amazing person. And go listen to our interview with her because she was super fun. And next I have Kristen Granada. She's been a friend of the podcast for a long time. In her hockey series, she wrote a book called Odd Man Rush. And this is an FFM hockey romance, which is something I don't think you see as often.
Right.
So it's the hockey player, his wife, and the wife's childhood best friend.
Oh.
So it's such a great story. So her books are so raw, and if you aren't following her on Instagram, you should be. She is such a champion for queer and cis women, and she is incredibly funny.
She is very funny.
Yeah, she's a wonderful person, and honestly a very good educator, in my opinion, without being judgmental, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So this book I have not read, but it's generally considered one of the best sci-fi queer stories, and it immediately went on my TBR when I read about it. It's called Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir.
It's great.
It often has the tagline of lesbian necromancers in space, and if that doesn't make you want to read it, I don't know what will.
Okay. That just made me think. I saw a bumper sticker today.
Oh, really?
That I was like, what is this talking about? Because I couldn't read all of the words, but it definitely said gothic lesbian necromancer. And it was like honk if you love. And I know I missed at least one word in there, but I definitely saw like gothic lesbian necromancer. And I was like, what? And I wonder if it was that.
Maybe part of that book. I don't know.
Yeah, it's got a huge fandom.
That was just today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really good.
I'm very excited to read this book.
I think I might own a copy of it too.
Oh,
you could borrow it.
So my next author is Becky Albertalli, and she writes emotional and hopeful YA books. Her most popular is probably Simon versus the Homo sapiens Agenda, which was made into the movie. Love Simon. All her books are great, though, and you really can't go wrong with any of them. And then finally, I have Alison Cochrane. What I love about this author is she often writes characters who are just discovering their queerness, but it's later in life. So all of her books are great, but I recommend Here We Go Again, which is about two childhood best friends turned frenemies. They take their dying mentor on a road trip as his last dying wish and discover not only the beauty of the country, but also of themselves. And then the other one that I would recommend is Every Step She Takes. And this is a woman finds herself on a 200-mile trek specifically for queer women. And she meets another woman who offers to help her relive the queer adolescence that she missed out on.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. She writes really, really... I just love that whole... Because that is something I think a lot of people don't come to terms with their queerness until later in life.
Well, I would say specifically for our generation and older. I don't think that teenagers are struggling with that now.
Kids these days are not struggling with that.
They're really not. But I think
youth.
For our generation and older, like people just didn't come out. And so now people have realized like it is a safer space. It's not safe, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah.
It's a safer space and they can find their people. And I think the internet has really helped, people connect that maybe want to be their true selves.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Mindy. Thank you so much. I have a couple of specific books and then some authors. So first up, you've heard us talk about how much we loved this book, and I will continue to recommend it. Promise Me by Sarah Kate is a second chance romance. And the audiobook especially, this is just, I think, a beautiful story. Sarah Kate does a great job developing the intimacy of this friendship and relationship on like a person to person level.
Yeah.
More so, and before any kind of like physical attraction, even though there is physical attraction there the whole time.
Right.
And I just think that she does a really great job. I see this story as one of like exploration. Neither of these characters are really in the closet, so to speak, but neither of them are really understanding and open about what their sexuality is at the beginning of the story.
At the beginning, yeah.
Yeah. And I love that story so much. It's such a great book. And then the other specific book I have to recommend is called Love at First Fright, which is not as heavy as Promise Me.
You don't say.
Yeah. This is by Nadia El Fassi. This is a very cozy ghosty rom-com. There are two bisexual main characters written by an author who is gender fluid. She goes by she, they pronouns. I'm not entirely sure how she identifies other than that. I don't know if she identifies as bisexual as well, but I do know that she identifies as LGBTQ plus somehow because she's got the flag in her profile. I'm just not sure exactly specifically. But this book in particular, the two main characters, like I said, are bisexual, but there's a side sapphic ghost love story happening at the same. And honestly, I was like more into the sapphic ghost story than I was into like the actual main character. Yeah. So I was like into the book for that. But I do recommend that. And then I have a few general author recommendations. Queer authors, friend of the podcast, JD Neto. We have a great interview with him from last year. He's a queer author who writes fantasy and romance. He has a book about Lucifer's lost gay son, which
he is so fucking funny in person.
Really
too.
is.
JD Neto is not Lucifer's long lost son.
Yeah. JD Neto.
Yeah.
His elevator pitch for that book is just like so funny to me. I remember my dad was like, "What are you doing on the podcast?" I was like, "Well, I'm interviewing this author." Yeah. Well, I'm interviewing this author who wrote a book about Lucifer's lost gay son. And my dad's like, "Excuse me?" It's just so funny to me. He also has a coming of age YA romance, The Other Side of the Ocean. And he has a new book coming out later this year that features a bisexual prince raised in the wrong realm. It's like a romantic-y situation. Fun. So I'm excited about that one. Next up, Kaylin Byron. That was so country.
Sorry, Kaylin. Kaylin
Byron. She is the author of Cinderella is Dead, which features a queer black female main character. And Kaylin identifies as pansexual.
I think Kaylin always has a LGBTQ plus character in her books because I've read most of hers and I think there's always representation. Yeah.
She actually got an award for Black LGBTQ fiction in 2022. So good for her writing and her characters. Yeah. Isn't that cool? Next up, V.E. Schwab. This is another queer author. She uses she, they pronouns and includes queer and pansexual characters in her writing. I found a response to a question on Goodreads where somebody asked, like, which book is the best one for like queer representation. And she says Shades probably has the most overt LGBTQ representation. Vengeful has ace representation, and Our Dark Duet has non-binary representation.
So I wonder how long ago they asked that, because Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil is sapphic. So.
I didn't write down what date that question was, but I love that she actually responded to it.
Did either of you ever read that?
Not yet.
I'm pretty sure it's on my bookcase at my house, but I have not actually.
You might have
read
gotten it from one of us from Book of the Month or something, but
maybe. What
I really like about the vampires, and I've said this before in that book, is that their bodies don't age, but their minds do, and so they start to get very, very angry after a while and like confused. And so she has kind of escaped this abusive lover that was abusive before she started kind of going crazy, and then she gets very vengeful about it. So it's a very interesting read.
Yeah, it's on my list. I'm sure that's shocking for everyone to hear.
That was a finalist for the Book of the Month.
Oh yeah, it sure was.
One of the top 5.
And then my last author recommendation is Ben Alderson, also a friend of the podcast. We have done an interview with him as well. He writes fantasy and horror, and his next release comes out this fall, The Darkness Bites Back. It's an vampire paranormal romance based on Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, cool.
Which sounds really, really fun.
I love that.
And a lot of Ben's books are on Kindle Unlimited. So
yeah, he is so much fun. If you're not following him on Instagram, you need to. He's hilarious.
He is really, really funny.
Yeah.
Fun. So those are all my recommendations. Deborah?
So I have a few, and I will say most of these people do identify as LGBTQ+, except for two that identify as allies. So the first one, I talked about this book last week. It was just released, called Bromantasy by Mare Roche. It's two bros who have to go on a mythical quest and face their feelings that they have for one another. So I've not read it yet, but I'm really excited about it.
Yeah,
just because she uses the word bros in her description. And so I can't wait to see like just two dumb dudes trying to,
the bro of it all.
Yeah, exactly. You all have heard us talk about C.G. Drews a lot on this podcast.
I knew you were going to talk about them, so I'm glad.
We cannot really sing their praises enough. They don't do signings, which is a bummer because I would love to meet them someday. But Don't Let the Forest In was the first book I read by them and that Mindy read by them. And it's dark academia. And it's literally one of the most beautifully written books I've ever read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
So they have several books coming out. I don't know what you're trying to show me.
I'm just showing you I'm adding one of the books you're talking about to my TBR.
So I don't give you shit about it?
While we're recording.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah. So, but C.G. Drews has several books coming out. They literally had several written when they got their pub deal. So they just had an adult one come out this year.
For as a reader,
Yeah. And again, follow them on Instagram because they have like a really cool aesthetic on there. They never show their face, which I think is really neat.
Yeah.
So next is TJ Klune, who I'm going to recommend Under the Whispering Door. This book is just a different look at death from a man with an unextraordinary life who finds a really magical life in the afterlife and finds his person.
Such a good book.
Yeah, it is. It will make you cry. There's some triggering things in it, so you do need to look at the trigger warnings, but the story itself is just really, really beautiful. I've not read a book by TJ Klune that I didn't love.
Yeah.
Absolutely love. I want to talk about Saint by Sierra Simone. This is the third book in the pre-series. It's What I really love about this book is her representation for mental health. And a big part of so this brother, he essentially goes into monkhood? Monastery. Thank you.
Monkhood, maybe.
Yeah. Is it monkhood? I don't know if it is or not. To essentially really escape like his demons that he is honestly kind of seeing sometimes, like shadows and stuff like that. And his ex-boyfriend comes and he's doing lifestyle stories on the breweries at monasteries. And the story is like very, very, very beautiful and so well done. Next we have Where the Winter Finds You. And so J.R. Ward is an ally. She does not identify as queer in any way, but Quinn and Blay finally get together in this novella, and it's technically book 17.5.
I know.
So these two men have simped over each other for 16 books before this.
Yes.
Like, talk about a slow burn. And don't get me wrong, they've like kissed a couple of times, and there's like tension there and stuff. But 16 books.
That's a long slow burn.
Yes, it is. But it is very much worth it, and it very much pays off. And they're a really amazing couple.
I start getting impatient with the slow burn if it's like 45% into the first book. Like, we're almost halfway there, guys. Come on.
The good thing about these books is it's peppered throughout them.
Yeah.
So you
haven't read 16 books just about them.
Well, that's true.
It's a different character
that's fair
every
point.
book. Yeah. So another ally is Rachel Reed, who wrote the Game Changers series. I can't believe neither of you already brought this up. But
I knew that one of y'all would.
So I would really recommend, if you have watched Heated Rivalry, you really need to read the book so you can understand the complexities of the characters.
Yeah.
And then finally, we have House of Rain by Harley LaRue, who I absolutely love. They've got some really great, they write really creepy horror for like sometimes the beings are really misunderstood. Like one of her series, the demons aren't the bad guy, the witches are.
Yeah.
Like the demons just kind of like want to live their life, right?
Yeah.
But in this specific book, it's sapphic horror, and it was so disturbing that it was like keeping me up at night, like the monster in it, in like a good way, where it's like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? And I learned some things, if you know what I'm saying. So I will say, I, as a cis female, didn't realize all of the things you can do in a sapphic or bisexual relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I'm like reading it and I was like, I would have never thought to do that. But I'm like, who figured that out?
Yeah. Somebody.
I mean, I guess it's the same as who figured out how to put a penis in a vagina. It's instinctual, and if something feels good, you do it.
Right.
However, I'm just like, every time I read something from like a new author, I'm like, oh, all right. Like I learned about docking in a
different.
Rachel Reed book.
Yeah.
I had never heard of docking before. Do you know what that is? Whit?
I feel like you all have told me
We've
before.
talked about it before.
Yeah. So you guys go read queer books. Go read LGBTQ plus books.
Good stuff.
Read books from trans authors. Like you really just need to broaden your horizons and stop it. If you're not, I mean, that's all I can say. Because at this point, if you're like just purposely not reading these books, you're just being an asshole. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it out loud. There's zero reason not to read a book in a genre that you like just because the author's queer.
And I'll say too, I know sometimes people, because I'm one of these people who I personally just prefer to read MF romances. Like that's just what I tend to like more.
And you are cis, so
right, exactly. And I think sometimes people who think that are like, well, there's no point for me to read this.
No,
because
you'll still like it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like you're writing off, like you're saying, you're writing off a whole section of really great stories. Like take the spice out of it. There are really great stories and really great characters, because romance books are not all about spice. Right.
TJ
like,
Klune doesn't have any spice. He might have like a kiss or something, but there's not sex scenes in those books at all.
I think people sometimes aren't necessarily like, I'm not going to read that because I don't, agree with it, whatever. People just are closing themselves off because they assume that they're not going to like it. And it's like, no, try something.
It. Yeah, right.
Try something
new.
Yes.
Well, and when we did our heated rivalry episode, we talked a lot about the reason that we think romances have gotten so popular is the consent side of it.
Yeah.
There's no power struggle. There's no one being demeaning to the other person. It's always, are you okay? Are you with me?
Lots of trust, lots of respect.
And you don't see that in a lot of heterosexual spicy scenes, unfortunately. Yeah. Because consent is hard.
Well, lots of great books, great authors to add to your TBRs, not just for Pride Month, but for all of the months.
I'll try to remember to link it in the show notes, because we do a Pride episode every year. So I'll try to remember to link our book recommendations from the previous episodes too.
Yeah. And a few weeks ago, or maybe a little longer, we had our trans author, trans character recommendations as well. So that brings us to our nerdiest thing of the week, and I can get us started off.
Okay. Why? What'd you do?
Because I just this week found on Facebook Marketplace a Bridgerton mocha pot. Do you guys know what mocha pots are?
No.
Okay, so mocha pots are these little, they look kind of like a weird teapot situation. It's a stovetop, technically not espresso because it's not an espresso machine, right? But it uses some of that same idea of like a pressure system to brew coffee. Okay. And it's like a single serve kind of situation on your stovetop. And it is so cute. I bought a mocha pot for my dad a couple of years ago because he is a big coffee dude. But it's like stainless steel and it's just silver and it's boring. And I saw this one and it's Bridgerton themed, and so it's like light blue, it's got pretty flowers painted on it, and I'm like, this is really cute.
Okay, will you I want to try the mocha though. Will you bring me some?
It's really good. I'm gonna do I can't remember what it's called. It's like a Mediterranean Italian way of doing iced coffee where you like shake it with sugar and then you pour it over ice. Like Cafe Freddo maybe is what it's called. I'm gonna try it.
You
like
and
that.
I have both done made the shaken espressos at home, which are really good.
Yeah, that's what I'm planning on using it for.
Okay,
but it's really
I would
cute.
like to go to there, please.
Look-
Will you please bring me one?
Look how cute that is.
Oh, it is.
Oh, that's adorable.
I didn't know that's what those were.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a mocha pot.
Yeah, so
really
it looks
cute.
like two triangles on top of each other, almost a triangle with or
Kind
two
of.
octagons on top of each other.
So the top kettle part screws off when it's finished, and you put water on the bottom and coffee in the middle, and the pressure like forces the water up through the coffee, and then
Okay.
it comes out a spout in the top section. It's
That
really
is so
it's
fucking
very
cute.
It's very cool.
I hope I don't ever have to go to your house and steal that. That's really cute.
It'd be a real shame if it disappeared.
It'd be a real shame if you texted me last time you saw something like that on Marketplace.
If I see another cute one, there are all kinds of mocha
I don't
pots
want
on
an
there,
ugly
but they're
one. I want a cute
all
one.
the like plain plain ones.
Because I have it
very
could go
cute.
in my little like tea station in my kitchen.
Yes, that's
That
what
would
when
look really
when
cute.
I'm not using it, it's sitting on my styled stack of cookbooks in the corner of my kitchen counter. So it's very cute, and I'm very excited.
We
about it.
sound kind of bougie right now, but this stuff brings us joy. So
Yeah.
it's fine. We see a lot of the horrors, so just a little spark of joy.
Yes,
Little mocha pot.
it's the little things
Yeah.
these days. What about you guys, Mindy? What's your nerdiest thing?
Well, mine's not a little thing, but Darren and I got really nerdy about trees.
I thought you were with Darren. I'm like,
I thought the
Darren
exact same
is
thing.
not
I was
a
like,
little thing.
Darren's
shout
got
out
a
to-
monster dick.
Shout out to
Darren.
Darren.
Darren and his trees.
Oh my!
So, yeah, no, we got really, really nerdy about trees. We had to cut down a really, really old black cherry tree that we had in our backyard because it was rotting, and that was awful.
I hate
it. Was
that.
such a giant shade tree. I mean, it had been there for decades, right?
Yeah.
So we now have no shade in our backyard. And now I know way too much about shade trees and maple trees because we were tree shopping.
Right, yeah.
And Darren doesn't do anything halfway. So I had to find out about all these different kinds of trees. We did finally.
is there a
purchase one.
spreadsheet?
No, there wasn't. But he
I'm
sent me
disappointed.
several
There should be.
emails.
Several emails.
Yes. So with pictures. So yeah. But we did finally purchase one. It's called an Autumn Blaze Maple, and it has like bright red
Oh.
leaves. I'm really excited about it. It's so cute. I
Nice.
named it. It's Mildred. Mildred the Maple.
That's the best part.
We have a beautiful shade tree in our backyard that's going to have to go. Like, we're really worried it's going to fall on the house at some point.
That's
'cause
why
it's
we
so
had to get
big.
ours
Yeah, and
done.
literally, it is so leafy that if it rains, you can sit underneath it and the rain doesn't come through.
Oh wow!
I love
wow.
it.
That's
I love it
awesome.
so much, and yeah, we're gonna have to get rid of
My
it.
parents have had to cut down a tree for the same reason the last few years.
It was the
Yeah.
only tree in our backyard.
Yeah.
Ugh,
I don't know.
I hate that.
Yeah. So you all know this, but the listeners that don't listen to our Thursday episodes, what's wrong with you? They don't know this. So really, our Thursday episodes are really so much fun. Even if you've already read a book and you don't want to reread it, we do nerdy deep dives into the lore of
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
books, right? So we're reading Quicksilver. We're about to finish it up. However, the episode where we talk about how they like essentially teleport to different realms, I did like a space deep dive, and the nerdiest thing about it is I linked like 10 articles in the show notes because I was
There
like,
were a lot of articles.
I was like, and then you could travel this fast, and then your body would disintegrate, and then time would stop for you, and then there's this one planet that it'll take 10,000 light years to get to, and I spent way more time reading about this stuff than I even like told you guys because I was so excited about it. It was really fun. Really, I find space fascinating because
It is
again,
cool.
there's so much we don't know, right? And yeah, so listen to our Thursday episodes. But yeah, that was episode 33. I'll link it in the show notes. But I had a lot know.
Yeah. It
Digging
was
into
fun.
that.
It was fun to listen to.
Yeah.
Was it?
It was.
Did you see one of the, I don't know if it was a satellite. I guess it was a satellite. And I don't remember what it was called because I have terrible memory. But it was sent out years and years and years ago, and it just now hit 1 light year.
Don't make me go look this up.
I want to say Voyager, maybe.
I don't know. I haven't seen
Anyway,
this.
sorry, listeners. I wasn't expecting to talk about this.
Deb will look it up later.
Yeah, I will.
But yeah, I thought that was really, really cool. Like, it's only gone 1 light year, but it's been years and years and years and years
Right.
since I want to say
Crazy.
the 50s. I don't know.
Well, because the vessel itself can travel a lot faster than the human body can.
Right.
So it is literally not physically possible for us to travel at light speed.
Yeah. Only in Star Wars.
Yep. Go listen. I know. In the episode, we talk about how we felt like we have been lied to by Star Wars.
We'll never get over it.
No.
Well, that is it for this week. Listen in to our Thursday episodes where we talk about Quicksilver by Callie Hart, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. Like what you heard in this episode? Follow Our Nerdiest Thing on Instagram at instagram.com/Our Nerdiest Thing or Facebook at facebook.com/Our Nerdiest Thing. We love hearing from fellow nerds. Email us at ournerdiestthing@gmail.com.